Hey, what's up, everybody? It's MrScaryMuffin, and this is another Thoughts Talk and TF2. This upcoming week, it's going to be E3 2015. I hope you guys are hyped, and I promise you guys a video about E3, but I'm not really going to talk about what EA is going to be bringing there. Not that dumb. But I will want to talk about something that you guys might be seeing lately. There's kind of a trend towards games as a service versus games as a product. The difference being, for example, a game as a product is a one and done kind of thing. The developer produces the game and then pushes it out. You buy it one time, and that is the extent of your interaction with the developer. You buy the game once and then you play it. It's like getting a Mario game. You get the Mario game, you play it, and then you beat it and you're done. You don't really have any online interaction. There's no DLC. There's no extra content to be released later on. There's no limited time stuff. There's no microtransactions, etc., etc. Games as a service are things like early examples are subscription model stuff, right? Like EverQuest was a game as a service because you pay a subscription, like a monthly subscription or a yearly subscription, and they give you these updates, they give you these new stuff, they give you incentives for subscriptions if it's like a free to play, but you can also subscribe kind of thing. More modern examples include things like TF2, League of Legends, Dota. These are all free-to-play games, but there's like little microtransactions for free skins. And one of the big things is that they're still pumping out these new updates and new modes and new maps and all this stuff for people to enjoy the game. It's like you basically have a game that you really, really like, and you get to play it forever. And even things like PvZ2 or Candy Crush or episodic games, even where you basically you can pay upfront for a promise of 5 episodes. Life is Strange is a great example because it is an awesome series of games, or I guess an episodic game that I highly recommend. But yeah, it's one of those ones where you can pay upfront and then you get all the episodes, and it's really cool. Now, games as a service, or even things as a service versus a product, is actually a really interesting concept, and it's not. Well, I guess it's fairly old now because we have to go back to when I was studying marketing 101. Geez, how long ago? This is like, yeah, easily a decade ago when I was back in university studying marketing, and this is where I first kind of got this idea of think products as services. And the example that our prof gave was of this carpeting company. So you think, okay, it's flooring. You sell the carpet to the person, they carpet their house or they carpet their business office space, and then they're done, right? They don't bug you ever again. But you could try to offer your carpet as a service, and what they do instead is that they pay you like a yearly service fee or a yearly subscription, basically, and what you do is that you promise that their carpet will always be looking great. So you come in every month and you like do the special vacuuming, and if somebody spills like red wine that will never ever come out of the carpet, you replace the carpet and you get brand new carpet that matches just perfectly well with everything else. And one of the things that enabled the carpet industry to be able to do this was that they had tiling carpets now, where basically they do carpets in squares, and then you lay the squares out of the carpet and creates like this really cool funky pattern, or you can have the solid colors, but it just allows in a way that you can mesh them together without worrying about whether it's new, old, faded or not kind of stuff. And it's pretty new, it's pretty interesting, and it really comes, like, these products as services thing comes from technological advances or advances in the ways you can produce it. So in terms of video games, this is definitely to do with online capabilities and being able to download things and patch things on the fly, hot fixes, that kind of stuff. Even just like updating, balancing the game, like these things are things that was not possible in the past. Like if you had a Zelda game, like if you think even Ocarina of Time, Zelda 64, there was like 3 or 4 versions of the game that you can have, and there was like slight little fixes between each iteration, as like they would do a massive print of this, right, like a batch print, and then they were like, oh, there's still enough demand for the game, so we're going to do another run of the game and we'll produce like a whole bunch more, and then this time we'll fix something before we do it, right? But nowadays we can have hot fixes, like in the Day Zero patch, like, oh, it's so scary, but it's actually an extremely powerful tool for developers so that they can ensure that the game is great, and then also ensures they can get through cert and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty important, and I am 100% for games as a service because I feel like it's a win-win-win situation. Games as a service is extremely good for companies and their employees, right? It basically provides job security and a steady cash flow for the business to keep the business running. You can see a lot of games basically being made because they know that there's going to be an influx of money coming in from this other game, and this other game is always going to be doing well. It comes back to this evergreen idea that I've had way back when I first started this Thoughts Talk TF2 series. It was about this evergreen model, and really when you're hunting this evergreen model, you're really looking to provide a game as a service on the customer end. Customers will get to enjoy their favorite game forever. It's going to keep getting updated, and they're pretty much guaranteed good customer service because games companies have to be accountable to their customers. They can't just be, here's the game, you bought it, haha, too bad I have your money and now you can't do anything about it. No, because they have to keep, like, they have to rely on these subscriptions, these constant cash flow coming in. They have to rely on people spending money on microtransactions, that kind of stuff. That means they have to be accountable. The people playing the game have to be happy about spending money, and that means that your money means a lot more, your opinion means a lot more as a customer, and games companies are listening even more. And I feel, and that's the main reason why I feel like this is a very good thing in general. And when you guys are watching E3 and you're seeing stuff, you'll see basically a lot of games moving towards this games as a service idea. If not, at least the publisher has something like that. Things like these single player story mode games, you know, like Far Cry, Metal Gear Solid, those things are being, like, you know, they're fewer and far between these days. A lot more, and like people wonder, like, oh, why is there so many Call of Duties and Battlefield and all that kind of stuff? Like, why is there so many of these kinds of games? And it's not because these games are like easy or safe or whatever, but it's because these games are more like a game as a service, right? These have the online functionalities, these have things that they can throw at you throughout the year, so that it's not a one-time buy, right? It's kind of like a down payment and then a little bit of installments, and it's beneficial for both sides, I feel. And I know some of you guys are probably skeptical, like, oh, whatever, you're part of the game industry now, this is obviously what you're going to be saying. But I would say to you guys, be patient. Be patient, because the process is still, you know, it's still growing. There's growing pains, you know. People are still learning the best way to exact this, where they pull, you know, from people without pulling too much and getting people burned out on that kind of stuff. Like, it's not an exact science, and you know, people are still learning and still trying their best to find that sweet spot where everything just flows nicely in and out with each other. And you guys can kind of see, for example, Blizzard stumbling with this a little bit, where they recently got some flack for charging $10 for a skin on Hearthstone, right? And a lot of the Heroes of the Storm stuff is like, hey, this kind of pricing is a little bit too expensive, right? But they're experimenting, they're trying out their stuff, trying to figure out where's that sweet spot where nobody is going to be too mad, people are going to be generally happy, and Blizzard can still get a good return on their investment, and that will allow them to keep pushing out new stuff and, you know, pushing out stuff for the game if people really enjoy it. I think a really good example also is Valve. What they did, for example, when they first came up with their original hats and stuff like that, they're like, well, we don't know what kind of thing to price this, so they had 9 hats, I think, at one point, and so like, let's take 3 of these and we'll make them super cheap. We'll take 3 of these and we'll put them generally where we think they should be worth, and we'll put 3 of these and make them super expensive and see what happens. And what they found out was that people will just buy them anyways, which is why you start seeing things like that ridiculous $100 diamond ring in TF2 and stuff like that. It's kind of silly, but it helped them understand a lot of their stuff, and they hired like an economist to come in and like study the economy of their video game and stuff like that, and it was pretty interesting to see the results of that. And you can see they gone kind of balls crazy about it, especially with their summer sales and their winter sale, like the little mini game stuff that they do to drive people to continue participating. And you know, you get like the trading cards last year for the summer camp, and then you can sell those in the marketplace, but Valve gets cut, and it's ridiculous. And I mentioned this last time about the why you should be mad at Valve for other things kind of video. But yeah, anyways, that's my spiel about the products as services. I'm sure if you guys look hard enough, you will be able to see those kinds of stuff. As far as E3 goes, I don't know. There's not too many things I am super hyped about. I am excited to see the stuff coming up from EA because I know some of the announcements that we were going to make, and I'm kind of excited for those kind of stuff just because I happen to like a lot of the stuff that EA makes as well. But overall, I'm not too keen on playing stuff just right away when they come out, so I generally wait a long time to see what the general consensus is, and I like to watch Let's Plays to see if other people are playing the game and see how they deal with it. And a lot of times, the only reason I pick up a game after that is if I feel like I would be interested in playing, even though I've just watched somebody else playing. A good example was Tomb Raider, where I saw somebody else play. I'm like, you know, I can really get into this game. Another one would be FTL, when I saw somebody play, and I'm like, you know, I can definitely play this game a lot better than this person did, because I got kind of mad at the person because they weren't really playing very well. I'm like, ugh, forget this. I'm just gonna stop watching it, just get the game myself and play. Which, hey, you know, mission accomplished or whatever. It was all good in the end. I am always, as always, interested to see what Nintendo is going to bring to the table. I am hoping to see something related to the next generation of Pokemon, which I'm hoping will be coming out sometime at the end of this year. I'm always looking forward to a new Pokemon game, and not Mystery Dungeon. Screw that. I'm looking for an actual legit, like, Gen 7 Pokemon, or even another remake of past gen Pokemon would be fine as well, or even a sequel to X and Y. I think that is probably what should be coming up next. But yeah, that would be the thing that I'm looking forward to probably the most, just seeing what else Nintendo has. I'm not too overly concerned with Sony stuff. I'm not overly too concerned with Wii U stuff either, because I don't have a Wii U and I never ever will probably get one. I'm not too enthralled with the Wii U or even too many of the next gen console, but that's just like a personal thing. But yeah, let me know, guys, what are you looking forward to at E3, and what do you think about the stuff I talked about today and the topic? Do you guys approve of products as services, or is that something that kind of gives you the makes you give the stink eye or something like that? But yeah, E3 should be pretty hype. I am looking forward to it. One of my friends is going to be doing presenting for this, so I'm going to be looking forward to that. I hope she doesn't trip and fall, as she says, but if she does, I will make a meme out of it. So I'll catch you guys next time. Until then, take care. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye bye now.